What's going on, guys? Bart here with Tully Television. I want to thank all of you for stopping by, liking, commenting, sharing all that beautiful YouTube stuff. I hope that today is the day that we earn that subscription. The march to 500 subscribers continues, and only together can we go straight to the moon, baby. But today I want to talk about the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that debuted on Disney Plus in January 2025. I didn't really get to do any reviews as the episodes were released, but being that the season one finale happened a few weeks back, probably a couple months back at this point, time release of this video, I wanted to kind of dive into it a little bit and give some of my thoughts on what happened during season one. But I just want to run through some of the voice actors that were part of this season. We had Hudson Thames as Peter Parker / Spider-Man, Coleman Domingo as Norman Osborn, Grace Song as Nico, Hugh Dancy as Otto, Octavius obviously, Zeno Robinson as Harry Osborn, Eugene Bird as Lonnie, Carrie Walgreen as Aunt May, and this was there was 10 episodes to this season, and there was some controversy before the actual series was released because of a race swap of Norman and Harry Osborn from being portrayed white in the comic books, but now in this particular series, they're black. We also have Dr. Connors that was race swapped and gender swapped. Initially being a white male, now a female black woman. Well, that was a little redundant right there, but a female black professor, Dr. Connors. We didn't really get too much into her story necessarily, just as she was running an internship at Oscorp that Peter was a part of. But this particular show started off with Doctor Strange battling what looked like a symbiote. And on the first day of school, Peter was there. He met his new best friend, Nico, and the school ended up blowing up. It was a specialized high school for mathematics and science and such, but due to the Doctor Strange fight, the school ended up blowing up, and a spider that was also made its way through the portal that Strange and the symbiote made it through, winded up biting Peter and giving him his powers. We do a little bit of a time jump, and Peter's kind of getting into the swing of Spider-Man, and he has a homemade costume there. One night during a brainstorming session or what have you of the internship that Peter got picked for, there was an emergency that came about, and Peter wound up becoming Spider-Man while in the Oscorp building and going and trying to save the day. Now, the footage that was taken unbeknownst to Peter came across Norman's eyes, so to speak, because he's the only one that knew about these cameras, and find out that Peter was Spider-Man. And he genuinely seemed to have a vested interest in Peter and his career as Spider-Man, kind of being his man in the chair when he would go out on missions, giving him upgraded suits, a variety of different suits to try, and different upgrades, also trying to help Peter with strategy while facing villains like the Unicorn, like Scorpion, and some other some other villains that popped up for Peter to take down and save the day. But as time was progressing, we see Norman progressively being suspicious, being a little Norman-esque, if you will. There were some things that were said during the series that you can tell he was doing experiments, possibly using Peter as a pawn, because at one point we see them using Peter's blood that he secretly collected to try to find out what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. We also in this season get Otto Octavius selling his technology to various criminals, like the Scorpion, like the Unicorn. We also have the Chameleon knowing where to find Otto. But because of Otto and Norman's past together, with Norman overtaking some of Otto's technology and using it and claiming it as his own and firing Otto, Otto decided to eventually just go out on his own, well, do his own thing. However, Norman orchestrated him to be arrested, and Otto is in jail. One of the last scenes we see of him is actually figuring out how to, like drawings of his mechanical arms. We kind of see them being used as he's trying to escape the cops in his compound. But he's trying to figure out how to fuse those arms onto his body to make him officially Dr. Octopus. We have Aunt May, who is a little bit younger in this series, television show. And she's the classic Aunt May to the degree of always being there for Peter. Uncle Ben obviously still not around. And we find out that besides being his rock, she's been holding a secret from Peter. And that is that Peter Parker's father is still alive. And not only is he still alive, he's in prison. So I'd like to see what Peter's reaction is once he finds that out. And where's his mother? Is his mother still alive? Guess we'll only find that out down the road. One of my favorite story arcs from the B characters, so to speak, is Lonnie. Lonnie and Peter were science lab partners. Lonnie was the starting quarterback with a great future ahead of him. But because of his younger brother joining a gang, he decided to trade that future to take his brother's place in the gang. And his gang and the Scorpions were at odds with each other. And one of their ideas was to hijack Otto's technology that the police confiscated because they weren't able to get there in time to take any. And as the Scorpions and Lonnie's gang were fighting for that particular van, he made his way inside trying to figure out something to use to enhance himself. And that's when he becomes officially Tombstone. Tombstone is a Spider-Man villain that his skin is so strong that nothing can pierce it. And even though Spider-Man and Lonnie, aka Tombstone, teamed up and defeated the Scorpion together near the end of the season 1 finale, Lonnie basically told Spider-Man, stay out of my business and stay out of my way. Otherwise, you're going to get some of the same. So, but he doesn't know that Peter is Spider-Man, so that might eventually come out and alter the way that Tombstone looks at Spider-Man. But then again, maybe not. Pearl, Lonnie's girlfriend, tried to get through to him also about not being a part of the gang, but he wasn't having it. He wasn't letting anyone in. He wasn't explaining to anybody why he was doing what he was doing. And unfortunately, he broke up with Pearl, leaving her devastated and heartbroken. Peter also happens to have a crush on Pearl, but Peter has secret knowledge of why Lonnie's doing what he's doing. Maybe not 100%, but he's giving Lonnie the benefit of the doubt because of being such a upstanding guy that he's hoping that he can reach him. As far as we also find out near the last episode that Norman and the interns, he was making the interns create this machine. They were all doing something different, unbeknownst to what the other interns were doing, to create a portal in some sort of lab, and the portal is to reach vast depths of space that humans are not able to get into with their current technology, and unfortunately led to them opening up the portal and having there was a bunch of symbiotes coming through, but one symbiote made it through, and Doctor Strange was able to come and help Peter try to defeat the symbiote. We find out that Doctor Strange used the Time Stone and winded up showing us how him and the symbiote got to the school in the first episode. And during that battle, we see Norman's animals that have been being experimented on get loose, and the spider that has Spider-Man's blood in it winds up going through the portal. So it's revealed to us that there's a bootstrap paradox. Meaning that the episode 10 goes back to episode 1, causing episode 1 and everything to happen after happened because of what happened in episode 10. So if that never happened, episode 1 would have never happened. Peter never would have gotten bitten by the spider. The school would have never blew up, and it would have altered the future, so to speak, making Peter not become Spider-Man. So in a strange way, Peter created his own self, so to speak, but Norman really, with his scientists and stuff, created Spider-Man in that sense. So all that winds up coming together and tying all the things together. Now, as far as the animation to this particular series, I know some people were not necessarily feeling it, but I liked the fact that it felt like a comic book. They were doing comic book panel style animation. And as far as the fights, some of the fights were really great, but the Scorpion and Spider-Man fights were phenomenal. I thought those two fights were some of the best done in the series so far. Harry Osborn also ends up finding out that Peter is Spider-Man, and Peter's friend Nico winds up finding out that he's Spider-Man also. So they had to deal with the fallout of that, which Harry, Nico, and Peter, near the end of episode 10, open up their own little business to try to be kind of in control of their own roads, their own destiny, without Norman being over their shoulder, so to speak. Now, as far as the writing, I thought the writing was done pretty well. I did like a lot of the things that came about it, as far as characters feeling like the characters' motivations seemed genuine. You know, they didn't seem like there was anything forced or anything or shoved down our throats as to why. Like, the motivations weren't ridiculous at the end of the day. They were understandable. And I kind of like shows that even though a character's not doing the best thing, it could be understood why they're doing that thing. So overall, I'll give this series a 7.5 out of 10. I am excited about season 2 and where that leads us for the show, for the series unfolding before our eyes. I wonder what type of villains and characters we're going to be introduced to in season 2. The mystery of Peter's dad. There's also a piece of symbiote that Norman was able to find in the lab, and I can only imagine what he's going to do with that. But those are my thoughts on your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man show. I want you guys to let me know down below what you thought of this series. And until next time, peace, Schnookums.